This is the Granville Street, Granville SkyTrain entrance. This is a very popular destination for Vancouver residents to shop and to engage in their occult activity. This is the Pacific Center Mall. This is H&M, very popular clothing store with the young ones. There is a financial institution right in there. There we have a Microsoft office. This is the Hudson's Bay Company. The Hudson's Bay Company, incorporated 2nd of May, 1670. And if you're in the mood for a Starbucks, you can be accommodated. And we have, as I mentioned, several shops. Holt Renfrew is right there. Shoppers Drug Mart is right there. And the Waterfront SkyTrain is just a couple of blocks down there. Steve Nash Sports Club is right there. The Keg Restaurant is right there. And standing right here, we have our early 21st century cult members. You will perhaps recognize this particular cult member from previous episodes. He and I were speaking once before, right over there. He didn't like the way that conversation was going, so he threatened to call the police. But you'll notice that the police didn't arrive that day. Typically, the cult member will take out their phone and threaten you with police involvement, thinking that that should be good enough to make you go away. And then when you don't go away, any number of things can then happen. They can decide to not follow through with their threat of police involvement. They can decide to follow through with their threat of police involvement. They can just leave. They can just stand silently, or the police can come, the police can not come. You can expect any number of outcomes when you have the audacity as an ex-cult member to approach current cult members when they are engaging in their cult activity. This cult member and I were having a conversation over there, and his wife, if you'll recall, grabbed personal property right out of my hand twice. She grabbed personal property right out of my hand twice. I wonder if this cult member remembers that. I wonder if I were to offer to show this cult member footage of that, if he would watch. Or if he would say, no, Jehovah is directing his true servants not to watch YouTube. Interesting how Jehovah is directing his true servants not to go to YouTube, where they can see footage of themselves violating people's rights. These cult members think that's a joke. These cult members think that if I were to offer to show them footage of Jehovah's Witnesses physically assaulting me, that is something to laugh at. This cult member is taking out his phone to call the police. I wonder if this cult member is aware that I do enjoy talking to the police. In fact, the last couple of times that I've spoken to the police, these cult members are the ones that have ended up rolling up their carts and seeking Jehovah's prospective sheep elsewhere. So I am looking forward to talking to the police, although you don't text the police. I think you typically call the police. We will now see if this cult member stands here and lets me record what he is saying. this is what Jesus prophesied would give evidence of his true servants in the last days. You are seeing it for yourself right now, viewers. Observe the true Christian faith. Observe the conviction. Observe the tenacity. Observe the certainty. Observe the loyalty. Observe the love. Observe the determination of the early 21st century Pacific Northwest cult member to ignore the person presenting him with an opportunity to give a defense. Really, I'm glad that we're observing this cult member today, because this cult member and I have spoken before, and you'll remember his total unwillingness to enter into a real discussion about his beliefs. You'll remember that when I tried reminding this cult member of the 1951 Awake and the 1981 Watchtower regarding disfellowshipping and shunning, he said, "Come on, buddy, what do you want me to do? Quote chapter and verse? I mean, you're just being ridiculous." I wonder if that cult member is having a dawn on him now that I was filming him then, and that as a fourth generation cult member, we all get to see what kind of arrogance that produces. This cult member has said that he has just texted the police.
Remember, Stuart, you got to give me 3 feet.
This cult member thinks that he gets to tell me what is an invasion of his personal space.
The police told us it's a law, so I'm just asking you to.
This cult member thinks that because he has texted the police, that they're now going to come. This cult member doesn't even realize that I'm not talking to him. I'm reading to them regarding the February 1st, 2018 letter to all bodies of elders regarding witnessing in public places. Dear brothers, this letter replaces the letter dated October 14th, 2016 to all bodies of elders regarding witnessing in public places, and has been added to the list of policy letters cited in index to letters of bodies of elders S22. Paragraph 8 contains updated direction on who may participate in public witnessing. Paragraph 10 makes reference to the new information sheet, Public Witnessing Guidelines, S148. I wonder if it is dawning on this cult member that she's hearing material intended exclusively for the body of elders. Selecting suitable locations. After consulting with the other elders, the Congregation Service Committee will make the final decision as to specific locations for public witnessing. Primary consideration should be given to areas of high pedestrian traffic that are most visible in accordance with local regulations. Possible locations include transportation hubs, public squares, parks, busy streets, shopping malls, college campuses, airports, and locations of annual events. See also new initiatives for public witnessing found in the July 2013 issue of Our Kingdom Ministry. I wonder if I were to ask these cult members to please stay. I wonder if I were to ask these cult members to please not leave so that I can continue to read to them if they would stay. There go 2 other cult members hoping to overhear abusive speech that they could talk to the police about. I wonder if that cult member actually texted the police as he said he did, or if he texted those fellow cult members to come by and take a listen, hoping that they would hear me saying and doing something that they could then say was a violation of their rights. Because standing in front of someone and not talking to them is not a criminal offense. In the mind of the early 21st century Pacific Northwest cult member, it is an offense. It is an offense to the creator of heaven and earth to approach early 21st century cult members of the Pacific Northwest and talk about them. When you do that, you can expect the wrath. When you do that, you can expect the wrath of Jehovah to come down on you. This is the cult member that grabbed the personal property away from me on 2 occasions. After the second time, she told me that I didn't deserve it. I wonder if I were to ask this cult member, hey sister, Remember that time you grabbed the watchtower out of my hand twice and said that I didn't deserve it? When I was asking you about how many people kill themselves as a result of watchtower organizational policy? How many pedophiles are going unreported to the proper authorities, and how many people martyr themselves in hospital beds? I wonder if I were to remind her of that discussion, if she would be willing to go and see herself. Notice how the leaders of these cult members are telling these cult members, don't go to YouTube. Because to go to YouTube is to have to examine yourself in a way that you've decided for yourself. Possible locations include transportation hubs, public squares, parks, busy streets, shopping malls, college campuses, airports, and locations of annual events. If the elders become aware of an opportunity to set up a literature display at a large event, such as a national or international book fair, they should contact the service department for further direction. Locations selected for public witnessing must be within the congregation's territory boundaries, where the territories of different language congregations overlap. The service overseers should communicate with one another so as to accomplish the most good while not overwhelming pedestrians and business people. Now, is the priority of these cult members now to reach people with the good news, or to take a stand? To take a stand in the presence of a filthy, disgusting apostate. See, these cult members have put the sleeves on their carts, but they're not leaving. They're taking their time projecting that they're only doing what they're choosing to do. I say they're doing what we prefer they do, and that is go away. These cult members are trying to decide where they're going to set up next. No doubt these cult members are just waiting for me to follow them, because if I were to follow the cult members, they would then be able to say, okay, he is now stalking us. Observe these cult members now setting up right over there. Observe the childishness of the cult members. And they are going to set up right over there. Go ahead. Again, you observe the conviction. You observe the willingness to stand firm. You observe the willingness to be courageous. I ask you, viewers, are these cult members manifesting courage in the typical sense of the word? Or are they manifesting a craving for a sense of superiority? I say Jehovah's Witnesses are becoming known for their craving of a sense of superiority and not of their faith and their love and their honesty and their courage. You decide. Well, it's about 10 minutes later, viewers, and we are inside of Burrard SkyTrain. That is the Bentall Center entrance. There are shops through those doors. There is an office tower right there. There are no cult members standing there today. It's now about 11 o'clock, maybe 11:15. They're not standing there, and they're not standing there either. How's it going, sir?
Hi.
Have you seen the Jehovah's Witnesses here yet today?
No, not today.
Not today? Okay. What time do you typically usually see them set up?
I don't know.
No real set time.
You just notice them around.
Notice them around varying times.
If they're here, they're there. We don't really pay much attention to them.
Because the rule is that they have to not be obstructing pedestrian traffic, right?
Yeah.
For instance, they could set up right where you're setting up, where you're standing right now, and that'd be okay?
No, I generally see them in the corner there when I do work the station.
Okay. Because I see them standing right here.
Okay.
Frequently.
Okay.
Is that permissible?
Yeah, it depends if they're obstructing. If it's not that busy.
Right.
But generally, I've just been seeing them in that corner lately.
Okay. But as long as it's not that busy, they can set up right there.
Yeah, it depends, right? It's like generally, I've seen it here for like ages. So maybe somebody's told them they can't do it there, but they're generally been in that corner right there.
Okay.
Out of the way.
I see them there quite frequently. That's
really?
the
Yeah.
thing.
I haven't seen them here because I like standing here, and I don't like it when they're here. Right.
Right.
So, yeah. this
So,
is my, yeah, I just
if they were standing here and you showed up, would you ask them? Would you guys mind standing over there and not obstructing
hey, how you
the
doing?
pedestrian traffic? Or you just put up with it?
Like you know, depends like who's here. Like if they're
Rush hour, like at around like 5
rush-
o'clock, 4:30, right here. People are going around them.
Generally, they're not here.
Right. But if they were, and you were on duty,
Or if they're talking.
if they were here, and you were on duty, and it was 5 o'clock, and people were streaming up these escalators, having to go around them, would you ask them to go stand over there?
Generally, I wouldn't see them, but I don't talk hypothetical. But generally, they're there, so I don't have to.
You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, because they're generally.
Okay.
I don't want
I'm gonna remember you. I'm gonna remember you
Okay.
because I like talking to them.
Okay.
So the next time I'm here and it's rush hour and there's tons of people around and you're around,
Okay.
I'm gonna want to check out what you're up to.
Okay.
See you later. This is once again the Vancouver Art Gallery. There appears to be a different. What's the word I'm looking for, viewers? There appears to be a different showing, a different showing at the art gallery right now. Bombhead isn't there. The Bombhead signs have disappeared, so they're perhaps getting ready to present a different group of artists or artist. The food truck motors are not blaring this afternoon, which is very nice, or this morning. Typically, the traditional Thai cuisine food truck motor will not be as loud as the cheesy food truck over there. The comfort food truck motor seems to generate a little bit more noise than usual than others. There is the artist who compared the cult members having to withstand someone standing with a sign next to them to his being death threatened. I wonder if this individual is going to try to come save the cult members from not even being talked to today. Once we choose to not talk about the cult members. This is Nordstrom's. This building, this used to be the old Sears building. It was gutted and renovated and turned into a Nordstrom's about 3 or 4, maybe 5 years ago. Very popular shopping location for Vancouver residents. That Sport Check used to be a Chapters bookstore. What else can I tell you about this area? Oh, well, we'll leave that for another episode. We will leave the surrounding areas for another episode. And wouldn't you know it, we have another pair of early 21st century cult members. This cult member, I believe, was the one who threatened me with police involvement. Her words, and I quote, "If you don't leave, I'm going to call the police." And then she was on the phone to the police and she asked them. She told the police that she then asked me to leave. I wonder if this cult member thinks saying, "If you don't leave, I'm going to call the police," and then telling the police that you asked somebody to leave is not an example of perfect cult brainwashing entitlement. I wonder if I were to show this cult member her doing that, if she would have any interest whatsoever in being reminded of what a cult member she was that day. I wonder if these cult members would be at all interested in seeing footage of fellow cult members that I've compiled and collected in recent months in Vancouver, where they've grabbed personal property away from me, where they've lied to me, where they've lied about me to the police, where they've threatened me with police involvement, where they've initiated physical contact and physically assaulted me, if they would bother to watch 1 second of it. No, they wouldn't, because it just feels better to stand behind a cart telling yourself that you are one of 1,000 people who, when the time comes, will be worthy of life itself. Worthy of life itself, viewers. Not just that the day will come where you'll be worthy of, a medal, a trophy, a promotion, a corner office, a timeshare, a designer outfit from Prada, a designer suit from Harry Rosen. No, the day will come when you will be worthy of life itself, where the next 999 people won't, because they didn't worship and serve and praise and fear God exactly the way you did. I wonder if I were to remind these cult members that 200,000 people are added to the world's population every day, and 224 of them have the misfortune of getting baptized as Jehovah's Witnesses, if they would be able to tell me how that is evidence of Jehovah speeding things up in the last days. I wonder if I were to ask these cult members how in the early 1980s it was taking Jehovah's Witnesses about 4,000 hours to generate one baptism, and that it is now taking them a little less than 18,000 hours to generate one baptism, if they would be able to tell me how that is evidence of Jehovah speeding things up in the last days. We will once again return to the scripted portion of our episode today, viewers, and we will read to this cult member from the February 1st, 2018 letter to all bodies of elders regarding witnessing in public places. Dear brothers, this letter replaces the letter dated October 14th, 2016 to all bodies of elders regarding witnessing in public places, and has been added to the list of policy letters cited in Index to Letters of Bodies of Elders S22. Paragraph 8 contains updated direction on who may participate in public witnessing. Paragraph 10 makes reference to the new information sheet, Public Witnessing Guidelines S148. Selecting suitable locations. How's it going, officer? Good. Observe, viewers, how I'm quite prepared to talk to the police at any and all times when chronicling the behavior of early 21st century cult members. After consulting with the elders, the Congregation Service Committee will make the final decision as to specific locations for public witnessing. Primary consideration should be given to areas of high pedestrian traffic that are most visible in accordance with local regulations. It has taken less than 10 minutes for these cult members to rotate their shifts. The other cult member with the short sleeves and short hair was walking away while I was holding the sign, and he was looking me over. Oh, he's lurking over there. So the cult member is hovering right over there. See? So this cult member is sitting right over there, waiting for me to do something that he can quickly rush in the event of the police being called to corroborate. He is sitting over there right now texting. I wonder if I were to say something that these cult members over here felt was hate crime. I wonder if I started spewing hate crime, if these cult members would text that cult member right there, so that at the mouth of 3 or more witnesses, a matter can be established, and the police can come kick the filthy apostate away. But of course, as you know, in the event of children being abused at the hands of one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you will not see the same level of interest in involving the police. But observe the level of interest in involving the police in situations like this. So as soon as this cult member in the pink arrived, he and his fellow cult member started really laughing it up, talking it up, projecting what a bond they have between themselves as Jehovah's true and only servants. But I wonder if it's genuine, or if today they're just bending over backwards to project how happy they are because an apostate is present. Really, I wonder if they're just ever projecting what love and faith and kindness and conviction they have other than to do so in the presence of blinded unbelievers? Does it really make a difference? Does it really make a difference if you are an apostate or just a blinded unbeliever? Observe the joy and the genuineness and the enthusiasm for pure worship that these cult members have. But when they're alone, when they are deciding whether or not to watch footage of themselves on YouTube, when they are deciding whether or not to watch footage of the Australian Royal Commission, when they are alone and deciding whether or not to click on jwfacts.com, to click on jwsurvey.org, or to go to YouTube and type XJW, ex Jehovah's Witnesses, and see what kind of testimonies are out there, I wonder what kind of joy and love and certainty and faith and conviction you'd be able to see on their faces then. I wonder if these cult members have offended their creator by clicking on jwfacts.com, by clicking on jwsurvey.org, by clicking on footage from the Australian Royal Commission, by clicking and typing into YouTube search term Jehovah's Witnesses lie, threaten, physically intimidate. I wonder if these cult members were to watch that kind of footage, if they would tell themselves, well, that's just evidence of just us being imperfect and struggling to deal with the satanic attack in the last days. You know, so what? So what if our brothers and sisters lie, physically intimidate, physically assault, threaten with police involvement, grab personal property and lie to the police? That's just us trying to deal with critical times hard to deal with. Jehovah understands. When you lie, when you threaten, when you physically intimidate, and when you physically assault on behalf of your God, it makes it okay. It makes it okay, viewers. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the device once again and stand here with my sign. Hopefully somebody will stop to ask me to talk about it. We can talk about it, and then we can observe these cult members' reaction when I start recording them again. Of course, I can't record everything, but as you know, I will be honest in my recounting of whatever conversation I do have with people who stop to ask me about the sign. Because unlike these cult members, people who leave this cult have nothing to hide, and we are able to pride ourselves on how honest we are about what is true. So I've been standing here with the sign for about 10 minutes, viewers, and although they're not doing it right now, when I was standing here with the sign, these cult members were facing right into each other, having a happy discussion about, I don't really know, I wasn't really listening. But it's a good thing that they were ignoring me and that they were ignoring everyone walking past while they were engaging in their happy conversation, because by ignoring everyone walking past, they were able to not see the 3 or 4 people who saw the sign and laughed at it approvingly, understanding perfectly well what I'm doing and what that sign means. See, the cult members aren't, well, they're still talking now, but the cult members, when I'm standing here with the sign and people are walking by taking notice and smiling and expressing their appreciation, then you will observe them bending over backwards to ignore not just me, but everyone walking past. And really, that is what it takes to be a cult member. You engage with people who are not in the cult on your terms. When you're presented with an opportunity to engage with them on terms that you're not accustomed to, well, then you just dismiss them. You just dismiss them as blinded unbelievers who aren't even worthy of life. Unless, of course, they fall over themselves to be just like you. It definitely feels good. It feels really good, viewers, and you and I both know that it feels really good to install yourself in a public place and indulge in the feeling that comes with believing you are the only person in 1,000 properly worshiping God. those cult members are stopping there. You'll remember, I believe, the cult member on the right, the cult member on the left from previous episodes. The cult member in the center, I haven't had the privilege of chronicling her behavior in a situation like this. I haven't had the privilege of chronicling this tall cult member's behavior in a situation like this. But as you know, I have had the privilege of chronicling this female cult member's behavior. And wow, what a cult member she is. What a cult member she is. Oh, this cult member tried to engage that person in discussion about God's kingdom, but observe observe how quickly she lost interest in that discussion. Because she knows she's being filmed. She knows she's being filmed. They know they're being filmed. And they also know that they've been told not to go to YouTube. So I say, the more ex-members engage current cult members in discussion and film them, the harder we're going to make it on these cult members to be dishonest about what is true. I ask you, who are the more honest group of people? People leaving this religion in 2018 or people staying in it? Simple question. I wonder if I were to ask these cult members, hey, seriously, guys, who do you think is more zealous for the truth? Who do you think is more honest about their search for truth? Ex-Jehovah's Witnesses or Jehovah's Witnesses? I wonder what they'd say. I wonder what they'd say. I wonder if a passerby thought of asking them that question. I wonder if a little girl with braids in her hair and an ice cream cone in her hand came up to these cult members and said, "Hi." So I'm wondering if you could tell me, who do you think is being more honest about their search for truth? Current Jehovah's Witnesses or people who have left this cult? I wonder if they would answer that little girl. In other words, who do you have to be to get an answer to certain questions from these cult members? I'm now going to return to the sign portion of my protesting today, and we'll get back momentarily. Yes, viewers, the other cult member in the green shirt that was here and then went over there, walked over there, and he is now hiding behind one of those pillars to Nordstrom's. I hope you can see it from here, but he was just hiding behind one of those pillars, and now he's standing in plain view, but I assure you he was trying to hide. I'm sorry I didn't capture it for you, viewers, but he definitely was trying to hide, and you observe he's trying to hide behind those bushes over there now as well. So he was hiding behind the pillar, he's now hiding behind those bushes, and rest assured, my battery has not died, and that is going to be part of today's episode. Amazing. Of course, and a few people have walked by and smiled and laughed at the sign. They understand, while they may not vocalize it, you can tell. You can tell that when people smile and laugh, that it's a smile and laugh of support, not a smile and laugh of disagreement. Or I could be wrong. You know, I could be wrong. Oh, the hugs that exist between the cult members. See, only in Jehovah's organization do you find this kind of love. Only in the True God's organization will you find this kind of stimulating conversation. Only in God's true organization will you find your fellow believers hiding behind pillars and bushes, hoping to watch you offend the cult members or do something that they hope will then give them the justification to call the police. That is amazing. That cult member was in a previous episode. He was standing right here, and he really had nothing to say. It is amazing the variety of reactions that you get from the cult members in situations like this. It would be something. It would be something to see the governing body give the direction to cult members on exactly how they're to handle a situation just like this, so that we could all see every single one of them handle it exactly the same way. That would be interesting. Okay, brothers and sisters, the apostates have come up with a new form of making trouble for God's true servants. They're coming up to the carts, and they're not even talking to us. They're talking to their YouTube viewers, they're talking to one another. So this is what Jehovah has revealed to us in terms of what you are to now do. You are to such and such. Imagine if the governing body were to give that direction. This is what the cult members are to do in this situation. And we were able to observe that exact reaction over and over and over and over all around the world. That would be, I wonder who that would be a victory for. I wonder if that would be a victory for the cult members or a victory for the ex-cult members. I don't know. I'm going to once again return to the holding of the sign portion of my protest, and we'll see if any additional cult members want to try to play hide and seek in their efforts to give a defense before Jehovah. So this cult member has returned from hiding behind bushes and pillars to come relieve his fellow cult members. I see additional cult members on the way. This cult member and his wife are now approaching. So there are now 5 cult members, viewers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm sure there are, oh, and look who's there. Mr. Ron Peebles. I wonder if Ron Peebles, oh man, amazing the things that will happen when you're out and about engaging in the chronicling of early 21st century cult members. Observe that cult member really know better. Observe that cult member really know better than to stop and come and talk to me after what he did and what he said. I wonder if I were to tell these cult members that fellow cult member over there, Ron Peebles, in the Stanley Park congregation, punched me in the stomach and then threatened to punch me in the face when I gave him the opportunity to apologize. I wonder if these cult members would believe it. I wonder if these cult members would go watch the video where I could prove that he punched me in the stomach and threatened to punch me in the face, saying that I should have gotten one in the face. That is amazing. You cannot plan that, viewers. I couldn't have scripted this episode of early 21st century cult members of the Pacific Northwest in a million years than to have just had Ron Peebles walk by right there while this cult member thought he was going to come relieve them, and while those other 2 cult members thought perhaps they would come and provide some relief. Notice how the appearance of Ron Peebles walking past completely squashed that for these cult members, because no doubt word is circulating among the elders that their fellow cult members have indeed physically assaulted me, that they have indeed lied to me, that they have indeed lied to the police about me, that they have indeed grabbed personal property away from me, and that they have indeed initiated physical contact only to cry about my having physically harassed them. Observe this female cult member not really understand what I'm talking about, but I'm pretty sure this male cult member does know what I'm talking about, and that is why he resorted to playing hide and seek earlier by standing behind that pillar and then behind that bush right in front of Nordstrom's. Amazing what you will witness when you try to engage and challenge and confront and question current cult members as an ex-cult member. Amazing. I will now once again return to the sign-holding portion of my protest today, and I wonder if I've already run out of battery. I bet these cult members are praying that I've run out of battery. This gentleman has just asked me what's on that sign. The sign says, "Warning, do not offend the cult members."
Yeah.
And these cult members just observed 2 people stop to take my picture.
Okay, well.
I wonder if these cult members think that those people stopping to take...
You can talk to me about it, right?
I'm talking to my YouTube viewers at the moment, sir. I'm protesting. Do you mind? We can talk later.
Yeah, you're just a rude son of a
These
bitch,
cult members saw 2 people just stop to take my picture. One of them was a fascinating young gentleman with some tattoos and some really cool sunglasses.
How are you doing?
Watch.
Not bad. This guy's ridiculous. You can't film me without my permission, bud. You can't film me without my... I'll take the fucking camera from you. I'll take the camera right from you. You want to play that shit with me? I got another way of doing this.
Observe the kind of person who comes to the defense of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Police, I got a guy here filming me in Rochester Square. He doesn't have my permission. Do I ask him to stop and he just won't? Yeah, it is. Thank you. Yeah, I got a guy here with a kind of hidden camera videoing me. I asked him to stop. He won't. Rochester Square. Oh geez. Closer to the other side, not Hornby, but closer to the other side on the courthouse side of the square. Yeah. As opposed to the library side. Yeah, I'm on that side, but I'm Rochester Square, like in front of the art gallery. There's a... Yeah. Kind of hard to explain. Like, I mean, if a guy come up, he'd be able to find me. I'm the only guy in a wheelchair with a beard and look like Gandalf the Grey. No, I'm in a wheelchair. I've asked this guy a half a dozen times now to stop filming me, and he won't. Sir, would you stop filming me? He just filmed me. He's talking about cult members and other shit and making accusations. He's going to put this online, right? And I really want this man to stop. First off, shouldn't be using hidden cameras to video people, you know what I mean? I'm ready to kick his teeth in. Nothing. He stopped talking now. No, he started calling me, come to the aid of cult members and all the rest of that crap. I wasn't even paying that much attention to what he was saying. But I asked him to stop filming and he just refuses to. Yeah, black t-shirt, blue jeans, black shoes, dark sunglasses. Got one of those fold-up kind of folio things for papers and that, with a big pen thing sticking out of it. He's got his camera on it, right? He's carrying a folder like you put papers in, but he's got a camera in it. Oh yeah, I'm looking right at it right now. I don't know east from west here. I'm kind of new. I'm on the. Okay, with the blue stuff in Rochester Square with the flowers on it and that, where they blocked up the street. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm above it. Yeah. They come, I'll see them. I'll go to them anyway.
So we are still waiting for the police to arrive.
Yeah. Well,
So this gentleman can tell